Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive in, make sure you drop your thoughts and the lessons you took from this story in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. My name is Aaron Whitfield, and I am 36 years old. The smell of grilled burgers filled the air as I stood by the grill, flipping patties and chatting with the neighbors in our quiet Charlotte cul-de-sac. It was one of those perfect Saturday afternoons where the whole block somehow drifted into the backyard, as if drawn by the scent of charcoal and laughter. The beer was cold, the conversation was easy, and for once, I felt loose instead of tense. Diana, my wife of 8 years, held court near the patio table, gesturing animatedly with her third glass of wine. That was Diana's way. When the glass tilted, the volume rose, and the edges of her humor sharpened. I heard my name float over the murmur. I did not turn right away. I pressed a fresh slice of cheddar onto a sizzling patty, steam curling up around my wrist. Seriously, though, who wants a tray, husbands? Diana said, her voice lifted and playful in the way that could turn mean without warning. Mine comes with low maintenance and absolutely no ambition whatsoever. I felt the conversations around the grill fall silent like someone had cut the power. A few of the men stared at their bottles. The women glanced at each other and then at me, all at once. The spatula grew heavy in my hand. I kept my face neutral, but the heat from the grill suddenly felt too close. Then Sabrina Cole, our recently divorced neighbor from 2 houses down, stepped forward with a smile that could disarm a crowded room. "You know what?" Sabrina said. "I will take him." Diana's laugh snagged at her throat. The smugness drained as quickly as the wine in her glass. Sabrina stood there, calm and composed, as if she had just offered to borrow a rake. "When should I pick him up?" Sabrina asked. The silence that settled was not the pleasant sort that invites reflection. It was the brutal kind that dares you to move. I set the spatula down on a plate and walked across the lawn to where Diana stood. Every conversation in the yard had stopped. The birds in the maple tree seemed to pause their own commentary. "Well, Diana," I said, loud enough to be unmistakable, "I appreciate you doing the marketing for me. Should I start packing now, or do you want to help me load the truck?" Diana's mouth opened, then closed. She looked at me, then at Sabrina, then at the circle of faces. I saw confusion flicker into shock, and then into a thin, hard panic. "It was just a joke," Diana said. The smile she tried to paste on would not stick. "Was it?" I asked, because Sabrina here seemed serious. And honestly, after your glowing recommendation, low maintenance, no ambition, she might be getting a pretty good deal. Sabrina stepped in a little closer, the sunlight catching on her earrings. "Low maintenance sounds perfect to me," she said evenly. "Ambition is overrated if it means a life you do not recognize. I prefer a man who knows how to enjoy what he has." A few neighbors tried not to stare and failed. I saw some of the wives whisper behind hands. A couple of the husbands wore the pinched smiles of men who recognized a trap they would never comment on. "Come on," Diana said, trying another laugh. "Everyone knows I was kidding." "Do they?" I said. "From here, it sounded like you were trying to get rid of me. Now that someone is interested, you look upset." She grabbed my arm, her nails pressing crescents into my skin. "We need to talk privately," Diana said, her voice pitched low. I drew my arm away. "Why? You did not mind discussing my shortcomings in front of everyone 60 seconds ago. What changed?" Sabrina crossed her arms, still smiling, but there was steel in it. "The offer stands," she said. "I'm not going anywhere." Diana's eyes flashed. "This is between me and my husband." "Actually," I said, "you made it everyone's business when you offered to trade husbands at a neighborhood barbecue. Sabrina has as much right to be part of this conversation as anyone else here." The tension was a living thing then. You could feel it crawling over the grass. Diana looked around as if searching for a rope to pull and stop the scene. But the damage was done, and the crowd was watching with held breath. "Fine," she said through her teeth. "We will discuss this at home." "Will we?" I asked, because it seems like you already made your position clear. Low maintenance, no ambition. Your professional assessment of your husband delivered to an audience. What is left to discuss? "You are being ridiculous," Diana said. "You know I did not mean it like that." "How did you mean it then?" I asked. "Please enlighten us." "Because I heard exactly what you said. I heard a woman who does not appreciate what she has," Sabrina said. "And frankly, that is her loss. Nobody asked you, Diana said, her voice sharpening. You asked everyone, I said. You asked who wanted to trade husbands. Sabrina answered. Now you are angry because someone accepted your terms. The party dissolved into stillness. Only the sizzle from the grill punctuated the air, and even that sounded defensive. We're going inside now, Diana said. Are we? I asked. I'm having a reasonably good time, actually. The company is better than expected. Sabrina smiled, small and pleased. Much better company, she said. Diana's face flushed deep red, and not from the wine. She was furious, humiliated, and for the first time in a long while, I did not feel the urge to save her from it. Choose, she said, her voice low. Them or me. I looked around at the neighbors, then at Sabrina, then back to Diana, the woman who had just tried to auction off my dignity like a folding chair at a yard sale. That is an interesting ultimatum, I said, especially after your 5-minute explanation to our neighbors about why I am not worth keeping. The look on her face told me she knew she had gone too far. But I was not finished. After the last neighbor drifted away and the backyard was as empty as the beer cooler, we cleaned up without a word. The clink of bottles felt louder than it should have. Diana watched me stack chairs, her gaze pressing into me like heat from a closed oven door. Inside, she broke first. What was that? Diana said. What was that performance out there? I hung on my keys and faced her. That was you learning what happens when you try to humiliate your husband in public. It was a joke, she said. Was it funny? I asked. Because nobody laughed. Except Sabrina. She found it hilarious. Do not you dare bring up that divorce vulture, Diana snapped. She was trying to cause problems. Problems? I laughed. She was honest. You offered to trade me away, and she said, I will take him. That is not a problem. That is a solution you did not expect. The problem, Diana said, is that you played along. You embarrassed me in front of our neighbors. I'll let that sit. I embarrassed you, I said slowly. You stood up in front of everyone and declared your husband has no ambition and is not worth keeping. But I am the one who embarrassed you. She opened her mouth, then shut it again. I pressed on. You want to know what is embarrassing? I asked. Living with someone who thinks so little of me that she would joke about getting rid of me. Watching my wife drink too much and turn me into entertainment. I was being social. Diana said, bristling. No, I said. You were being cruel. And you are upset now because it backfired. You expected me to stand there and take it. Maybe laugh along. Play the fool. Her silence was answer enough. Here's what you did not plan for, I said. Someone actually wanting what you threw away. Now you are panicking because you might lose it. You are my husband, Diana said. Am I? I asked. Because 5 minutes before, you were trying to give me away. She started pacing, her hands shaking, a familiar storm building behind her eyes. You cannot be serious about this. Sabrina is just a desperate divorced woman looking for attention. And what are you? I asked quietly. The question landed and stayed there. She stopped. What is that supposed to mean? It means look in the mirror, I said. You say Sabrina is desperate. You are the one married to a man you claim to have no respect for. You are the one who stays and sneers. That is different, Diana said. We are married. We have a life together. Do we? I asked. Because from where I stand, we have a house and shared bills. A life, a real partnership. I am not seeing it. I walked to the refrigerator and opened a beer. The hiss sounded like a reminder to breathe. You want to know what I realized today? I asked. I have been making excuses for your behavior for years. I did not know what you were talking about, Diana said. Of course you do not, I said. You have disrespected me so consistently you think it is normal. The little comments, the eye rolls when I talk. The way you dismiss everything I say. She did not respond. The refrigerator hummed. Watching Sabrina today made me realize something. I said, a woman who appreciates a man does not try to trade him away at a barbecue. So what? Diana said, you're going to run off with a neighbor. I'm going to stop accepting disrespect from my wife, I said. The words hit her like a door closing. She physically took a step back. What does that mean? It means you do not get to make jokes about my ambition or my worth. Not in public. Not in private. Not anymore. And if I do not agree to your terms? Diana asked, crossing her arms. I set the bottle on the counter and met her eyes. Then Sabrina's offer is still on the table. The color vanished from her face. You would not. Try me, I said. We stared at each other until the room felt too small. This is ridiculous, Diana said finally. You are overreacting to a stupid joke. Am I? I asked. When was the last time you said something genuinely kind about me? When was the last time you built me up instead of shaving me down? She opened her mouth, then closed it. The silence answered for her. My phone buzzed. Sabrina's name lit the screen. Hope you're okay after all that. If you need to talk, I'm right next door. Diana saw my expression shift. Who is that? She asked. Sabrina, I said. Delete it, Diana said. Block her number. I stared at her. Excuse me. Delete the message, Diana repeated. I do not want her contacting you. And why would I do that? I asked. Because I am your wife, she said. The same wife who tried to give me away 2 hours ago, I said. That was different, Diana said. I was just talking. And Sabrina is just talking, I said. What is the difference? The difference is she is trying to steal my husband, Diana said. I laughed. It did not sound nice. Steal? You cannot steal something that is being given away for free. She crumpled a little at that, sinking onto the sofa like someone had removed a beam from the ceiling. This is not how tonight was supposed to go, Diana said softly. How was it supposed to go? I asked. You humiliate me. Everyone laughs. And then we come home and pretend it never happened. She did not answer. That silence spoke more clearly than any apology. I finished my beer and headed for the stairs. I'm going to bed, I said. We can talk tomorrow when you have decided what you really want. Where are you going? She asked. The guest room, I said. You cannot be serious, Diana said. Dead serious, I said. Good night. I heard her start to cry as I climbed the stairs. I kept going, and for the first time in years, I did not reach back to catch her tears. Morning came wrapped in the smell of bacon and eggs. When I walked into the kitchen, Diana stood at the stove in her best apron, hair done, makeup neat, a domestic performance piece on opening night. Good morning, honey, she said, her voice syrupy. I made your favorite breakfast. I poured coffee and Saturday. What is the occasion? Can a wife make breakfast for her husband? She asked with a forced smile. This wife can, I said. The question is whether she will without an ulterior motive. Her smile trembled. I thought we could talk about yesterday. Clear the air. The air seems clear, I said. She set a plate in front of me, bacon crisp, eggs exactly right, toast with a glisten of butter. Maybe I had too much wine, Diana said. Maybe I said things I did not mean. Maybe, I said. Okay, she said quickly. I definitely said things I did not mean. But that is not who I am. Actually, I said, I think that is exactly who you are. Yesterday, you just said it out loud in front of witnesses. Color rose in her face. That is not fair. Is it not? I asked. When was the last time you bragged about me to your friends? When was the last time you said you were lucky to be married to me? She looked down. I do not really think about things like that, she said quietly. No, I said. But you think about how I disappoint you. That you think about often. The doorbell rang. Through the window, I saw Sabrina on the porch holding a coffee mug. Do not answer it, Diana said quickly. I stood and opened the door. Morning, Sabrina, I said. Morning, Sabrina said. I ran out of sugar. Could I borrow some? The store does not open for another hour. Of course, I said. Come in. Diana appeared in the doorway with a smile like a mask. Oh, Sabrina, she said. How unexpected. Hope I am not interrupting, Sabrina said, though her tone suggested that if she was, it did not bother her. Not at all, I said. Coffee. That would be lovely, Sabrina said. Actually, Diana said, tighter now, we were having a private conversation. Were we? I asked, because it felt finished. Sabrina glanced between us, amused. Am I missing something? She asked. Not really, I said, pouring her coffee. Diana was explaining how yesterday was a misunderstanding. The barbecue, Sabrina said, waving a hand. No misunderstanding on my part. I meant what I said. Diana set her mug down too hard. I think we have discussed yesterday enough, she said. Have we? Sabrina asked. Because the more I think about it, the more I like the idea. What idea? Diana asked, her jaw tight. Trading husbands, Sabrina said. Or, more accurately, if you do not want yours, taking him off your hands. The kitchen went quiet again. I took a sip of coffee. It tasted clearer than it had in years. That is not happening, Diana said finally. Why not? Sabrina asked. You said he was low maintenance and had no ambition. Those were your exact words. It was a joke, Diana said. Was it funny? Sabrina asked. She shot me a playful look. I could not help a small smile. I asked her that last night, I said. She is still working on an answer. Stop talking about me like I am not here, Diana said, bristling. Sorry, I said. We are being rude. I turned to Sabrina. Diana says it was all the wine talking. In wine there is truth, Sabrina said lightly. Diana's face reddened. Are the two of you teaming up on me? She asked. Nobody is teaming up, Sabrina said calmly. I'm saying alcohol does not invent thoughts. It removes the filter. That is ridiculous, Diana said. Is it? I asked. Because drunk you and sober you seem to share the same opinion about my lack of ambition. I never said that, Diana said weakly. Not really. You literally said those exact words, I replied. Fine, Diana said, exhaling. Maybe I think you could be more ambitious. Is that such a crime? Most wives want their husbands to strive for more. More what? Sabrina asked. More success, Diana said. More money, more drive. And what makes you think he does not have those things? Sabrina asked. Diana gestured around the room. Look, we live in a middle-class neighborhood, in a middle-class house, with middle-class everything. So, I asked. So we could have more, Diana said. You could push harder, work longer, make more. Instead, you are content to exist. I set my cup down. There it is, I said. You are embarrassed by our life. You are embarrassed by me. That is not what I said, Diana protested. It is exactly what you said, I replied. You just used different words. Sabrina watched us like she could see the pieces shifting. Can I ask you something? She said to Diana. What? Diana asked. What do you contribute to this household? Sabrina asked. Diana stared. Excuse me. It is a simple question, Sabrina said. You criticize your husband for not being ambitious enough, not making enough, not pushing enough. What do you bring to the table? I am his wife, Diana said. That is a title, Sabrina said, gentle but firm. Not a contribution. The room held its breath. Diana's mind raced across her face. I take care of the house, she said finally. Do you work? Sabrina asked. I'm between jobs right now, Diana said sharply. How long have you been between jobs? Sabrina asked. Diana looked at me as if I would provide a bridge out of this. I stayed quiet. A few months, Diana muttered. Try 18, I said softly. Sabrina's eyebrows lifted. 18 months, she said. And you criticize him for lack of ambition. That is different, Diana said. How? Sabrina asked. Because I am waiting for the right opportunity, Diana said. For 18 months, Sabrina said. Understood. This is none of your business, Diana snapped. You made it my business yesterday when you offered to trade him to me, Sabrina said. I walked to the window. Our neighbors were outside, tending flower beds and washing cars, creating a normal Sunday that did not include a marriage tearing at its seams. I owned that truth without sorrow. Maybe peace begins in pieces. I realized something last night, I said without turning. I have apologized for being who I am for years, for not being rich enough, flashy enough, ambitious enough for you. That is not true, Diana said. I turned back. How many times have you told me to ask for a promotion? To find a better job? To do more, be more, make more? She looked away. Here's the thing, I said. I like my job. I'm good at it. It pays well enough for us to live comfortably, and it lets me enjoy my life rather than chase a moving target. Sabrina smiled. Sounds ideal to me, she said. Nobody asked you, Diana snapped. Actually, I said, you did. Yesterday, in front of everyone, Sabrina added, and my answer has not changed. When should I pick him up? The question drifted through the room like smoke. Diana cycled through anger, shock, and something close to resignation. Get out, Diana said to Sabrina, trembling. Get out of my house. Your house, Sabrina asked mildly. I thought it belonged to both of you. Given the 18-month job search, I would guess his name is on the mortgage. She was right. We had bought the house in my name before we married. I had never added her to the deed. I want her out now, Diana said to me, voice breaking. What? I asked. She came to borrow sugar. We have not given her any yet. Do not play games with me, Diana said. I am not, I said. I am wondering why conversation scares you this much. Sabrina rose and smoothed her dress. Maybe I should go, she said. I can see someone is uncomfortable. You are not making me uncomfortable, I said, surprising even myself with the firmness in my voice. Stay as long as you like. Diana swung toward me. Are you out of your mind? No, I said. I am thinking clearly for the first time in years. She's trying to steal you, Diana said. How could she steal something you do not want? I asked. I never said I did not want you, Diana said. You did not have to, I said. You demonstrated it. In front of half the neighborhood. Sabrina settled back in her chair. This is better than cable, she said under her breath. That is not how you talk to a guest, I told Diana when she snapped at Sabrina to be quiet. Guest, Diana said. She is a home wrecker. What home? I asked. The one where you complain about your husband all day and criticize his work ethic while he pays for everything. She struggled to regain control, the way a storm fights to gather once it has already blown itself out. We can work through this, Diana said. We can go to counseling. Can we? I asked. Yesterday you made it clear I'm not worth the effort. I was drunk, Diana said. And you are sober now, I answered, and still trying to control who I talk to and what I do. Sabrina cleared her throat. May I ask a question? She said to Diana. What now? Diana asked, exhausted. Do you even like your husband? Sabrina asked. Not love. Like. Do you enjoy his company? Do you look forward to seeing him? Do you laugh at his jokes? Do you find him interesting? The questions landed soft and devastating. The simplest questions are the sharpest knives. Of course I do, Diana said. He is my husband. That is not what I asked, Sabrina said gently. Silence stretched, and the truth made itself known in the space where words should have been. See, that is the difference between us, Sabrina said. We have had 3 real conversations, and I already know my answers. Yes, 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 and yes. You do not know him like I do, Diana said. Maybe that is the problem, Sabrina said. Maybe you forget to see the good because you are focused on what is wrong. I rinsed my cup. The ceramic clink sounded like punctuation. This conversation is done, I said. Good, Diana said. She can leave. We can get back to normal. That is not what I meant, I said. What did you mean? Diana asked, barely breathing. I am done pretending this marriage is working, I said. I am done accepting criticism from someone who brings nothing to the table. I am done being treated like a consolation prize. You cannot be serious, Diana whispered. Sabrina finished her coffee and stood. This has been enlightening, she said. Thank you for the coffee and, eventually, the sugar. Wait, I said. You came for sugar. Right, Sabrina said with a small smile. Honestly, this conversation has been sweeter than anything I could have baked. I poured sugar into a container and handed it to her. There you go, I said. Thank you, Sabrina said. You are very kind. Diana stared at us like we were making a trade in plain sight. What is really going on here? She asked. Nothing, I said. I am helping a neighbor. Sabrina turned to Diana with a curious look. May I ask one more thing? She said. What now? Diana asked. Why do you want to keep a husband you do not respect? Sabrina asked. Because he is mine, Diana said. That is not a reason, Sabrina said. That is possession. I love him, Diana said. Do you? Sabrina asked. Because love involves respect, admiration, support. I have not seen any of those from you. You do not understand our relationship, Diana said, but the words felt like someone else's. I understand enough, Sabrina said. He works hard. You criticize. He tries. You diminish. That is not a partnership. That is not fair, Diana said. Is it not? I asked. When was the last time you said thank you for anything I do? When was the last time you acknowledged that I work 40 hours a week to pay for this house, the car you drive, the food you eat? I should not have to thank you for doing what you were supposed to do, Diana said. There it is, Sabrina said softly. You think he owes you everything, and you owe him nothing. The truth hit like a hard wind. Diana swayed. That is not, she began. It is, I said. You think my presence is lucky for me. You think your company is a trophy I should polish. I am done pretending that is love. Sabrina headed toward the door. I really should go, she said. Thank you again. Any time, I said. Sabrina paused, looked at me, and said softly, any time. I nodded. Why turn back? Diana stood with tears streaking her cheeks. How could you do this to me? She asked. Do what? I asked. Stand up for myself? Refuse to be humiliated? Flirt with another woman in front of me? Diana said. Act like our marriage means nothing. Our marriage? I asked with a short laugh. What marriage? The arrangement where I pay bills and you complain? That one. We took vows, Diana said. Yes, I said. To love and to cherish. Which of those have you kept lately? She had no answer. I grabbed my keys. I'm going out, I said. Where? She asked. Does it matter? I asked. According to you, I have no ambition. Maybe I will drive around aimlessly. Do not leave, Diana said. We need to talk. We have talked enough, I said. I need to think. I drove aimlessly around Charlotte, the streets familiar and soothing. 2 hours later, I came home to find Diana in the living room, eyes red, a notebook in her hands like a child holding a trophy she hoped would fix everything. I wrote down all the things I appreciate about you, Diana said, lifting the notebook as if it were proof she could be different. Saturday, let me guess, I said. Good provider, faithful husband, reliable. Her face fell. How did you know? Because those are not things you appreciate about me as a person, I said. Those are functions. That is not true, she said. Read me the list, I said. You work hard, Diana read. You pay the bills. You are dependable. You never cheat. You help around the house. Stop, I said. Do you hear yourself? Everything is about what I do for you, not who I am. I do not understand the difference, Diana said. I know, I said. That is the problem. She closed the notebook and leaned forward. Tell me what you wanted to say, Diana said. I do not want you to say anything, I said. Words are cheap. You have proven that. Then what do you want? Diana asked. I want you to pack your things, I said. The color drained out her face. What? You heard me, I said. Pack your things and leave. You cannot be serious, Diana said. This is my home. No, I said. It is my home. Your name is not on the deed. You have not contributed to the mortgage in a year and a half. You cannot just throw me out, she said. I can, I said. And I am. Where will I go? She asked, sobbing. Your sister in Raleigh, I said. Your mother in Baltimore. A hotel. I do not care. I do not have money, Diana said. Then you should have thought about that before you spent 18 months criticizing the person who pays for everything, I said. My phone buzzed. Sabrina. Everything okay? Saw you drive off earlier. Diana saw my eyes flick. Is that her? She asked. Yes, I said. Delete it, Diana said. No, I said. You are my wife. You should come first. But you made it clear yesterday that you do not want to be first. You want to be right. I went upstairs and pulled 2 suitcases from the closet. When I came back down, Diana dissolved. Please, she said. We can try counseling. 8 years too late, I said. I will get a job, Diana said. I will contribute more. You should, I said. But do it for yourself. I set the suitcases in front of her. Start packing, I said. I will not, Diana said. Then I will, I said. I went upstairs and began filling the suitcases, the sound of hangers scraping the rod like a metronome, counting the end of something that should have ended sooner. Stop, Diana said, grabbing at clothes. You cannot do this. Watch me, I said. What about our vows? Diana asked. For better or worse? This is worse, I said, and I am done living in worse. It took 20 minutes to pack the essentials. I carried the last suitcase downstairs. Diana sat sobbing. Where am I supposed to go? Diana asked again. Figure it out, I said. What if I change? She asked, desperate. What if I prove it? I'm not interested in promises, I said. I am interested in peace. I set her suitcases by the door. You have until noon tomorrow to get the rest of your things, I said. After that, I am changing the locks. You will regret this, Diana said. The only thing I regret, I said, is waiting this long. I opened the door. Sabrina was walking up her driveway. She saw the suitcases and understood. Need any help? Sabrina called. Diana shot her a look that could have scorched the lawn. This is your fault, she said to Sabrina. No, I said. This is the result of your choices. Diana grabbed a suitcase and stormed to her car. She drove away, tires crunching on gravel. Sabrina crossed into our yard and stopped a respectful distance away. You okay? She asked. Better than I have been in years, I said. Good, Sabrina said. That took courage. It took self-respect, I said. I had forgotten I had some. Sabrina smiled. If you need anything, you know where I am. I might take you up on that, I said. I hope you do, she said and walked home. 3 weeks later, I flipped burgers in the backyard again. The light felt easier. Sabrina chopped tomatoes at the patio table, humming to herself, the breeze teasing the hem of her dress. How is the neighborhood gossip mill? Sabrina asked, tossing the salad. Mixed reviews, I said with a chuckle. Half the wives think I am a hero. The other half think I am a villain. The husbands keep giving me knowing nods and asking for advice I cannot give. Diana had come by twice, once to gather more things, once to plead. I had stayed steady. The divorce papers were filed. Any regrets? Sabrina asked. Only that I waited so long, I said. Sabrina smiled and leaned in to kiss my cheek. I am not complaining about the timing, she said. The doorbell rang. I checked the peephole. Diana stood on the porch, hair unwashed, eyes red, wearing the same clothes from 2 days ago. I opened the door, but did not invite her in. What do you want? I asked. I got a job, Diana said quickly. At Target. I start Monday. See? I am changing. Good for you, I said. You should have done that a year and a half ago. Can we talk? Diana asked. Without her around, I heard Sabrina moving in the kitchen, deliberately giving us space. There is nothing to talk about, I said. This is not about one joke at a barbecue. This is about 8 years of disrespect. The barbecue was the final straw. I will do anything, Diana said. We can start over. I will sign a prenuptial agreement for a new marriage, if that is what you want. I almost laughed. There is not going to be a new marriage, I said. Because of you, Diana said, tears spilling. Because of me, I said. Because I choose respect this time. I heard you are dating her, Diana said. We are getting to know each other, I said. She's not better than me, Diana said. Actually, I said, she is. She appreciates what she has instead of resenting what she does not. I can appreciate you, Diana said, grasping at the words like a rope. No, I said, because deep down, you still think I am not enough. You are not here because you miss me. You are here because you are afraid to be alone. That is not true, Diana said, crying harder. Prove it, I said. Name one thing about me that you genuinely love that has nothing to do with what I provide. She opened her mouth and nothing came. The silence lengthened until it answered for both of us. Take care of yourself, I said finally, and started to close the door. She pressed her hand against it. The neighbors hate me, she said quietly. They think I am terrible. Maybe ask yourself why, I said. You never thought there would be consequences. I moved her hand gently and closed the door. I stood there for a moment, listening as she cried, and then walked away. The car started. Then silence. Sabrina stepped to the doorway. You okay? She asked. Perfect, I said, and she tilted her head. Liar, Sabrina said softly. That could not have been easy. Easier than I expected, I said. I am done feeling guilty for wanting to be happy. Sabrina wrapped her arms around me. Good, she said. You deserve to be happy. So do you, I said. I am, Sabrina said. For the first time in years, I am with someone who actually wants me around. I kissed her forehead. Always, I said. We went back to the kitchen and finished dinner together, trading little jokes and stories about old road trips and mishaps with charcoal chimneys. It felt like something new and old at once, a rhythm that asks nothing but honesty in return. You know what is funny? Sabrina asked as she set the salad on the table. What? I asked. Diana did me a favor at that barbecue, Sabrina said. She gift-wrapped the right man and handed him to me. All I had to do was say yes. I laughed, the sound rolling easy from somewhere. I nodded. Then maybe I should thank her, I said. Maybe we both should, Sabrina said, eyes bright. Later, we sat on the back porch watching the sunset soak the tops of the trees. Sabrina's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smiled. Who is that? I asked. My ex-husband, Sabrina said. He heard about us through the grapevine. What does he want? I asked. She showed me the message. Heard you upgraded, it read. Good for you. Upgraded, Sabrina said, leaning her shoulder into mine. From a man who took me for granted to a man who appreciates me. Yes, I would call that an upgrade. I pulled her closer. The feeling is mutual, I said. You know the best part? Sabrina asked, looking at the sky as if it might answer. What? I asked. I do not have to pretend to be grateful for basic decency anymore, she said. And you do not have to apologize for who you are. The last light slid behind the trees, and I let out a breath I did not realize I'd been holding for 8 long years. Sometimes the worst moments pry open a door that should have never been closed. That door swung wide for us on a hot Charlotte afternoon, with a grill smoking and a crowd watching, and a woman saying she would take what another woman did not want. I chose respect over disrespect. I chose appreciation over criticism. I chose the open door. And in that choice, I found my life again. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.